Good morning and welcome to Sunday Today. I'm Garrett Utley, and once again we're on the road this morning in Jerusalem.
And good morning to all of you. I'm Maria Shriver. We're on the sound stages at the Walt Disney Studios.
Sunday Today is here where it begins, the main event of 1988. Here in New Hampshire,
Alberta, Canada.
in the Superdome. From Moscow, from Hawaii, from Atlanta.
Concluding a week-long visit to Cuba.
You want me to cooperate with the State Department, the Department of Commerce, the CIA, the government of the United States? No, I'm not willing to cooperate with them. I will not tell them who cooperated in this. But I can tell you that Noriega never has cooperated in that.
A lot of people talking now, what will it be like with the first Jewish First Lady? So it's still in people's minds.
I think because I'm different in that way from other candidate spouses and potential First Ladies, that might be an issue. But in 1988, it doesn't seem to be a negative issue, and I'm really very pleased about that.
What is your personal relationship with Michael Dukakis as of today?
It's a good relationship. We have personal rapport. We've gone through a very tense set of debates and private meetings, and there is no animosity. There are no things negative that stand between us.
Israel says it will not be pushed into the sea. Some Palestinians say we will not be pushed into the desert.
We are not going to push anybody, you know. What we want is to exist as a free and independent people. We have nothing against the Arabs.
This Israeli occupation will continue. No one can estimate exactly what will happen.
What do you think will happen?
More tragedy.
The United States should help Israel, save Israel from Israel itself.
So that means that you think that the United States should push Israel harder?
I believe that it has a moral right and a duty to do so.
Do you think you have been able to bridge a gap between Americans and the Arab world because you were born in America, because you are an American-born queen?
In some modest measure, yes. I wouldn't say as much because I'm an American-born queen, so much as the fact that I'm born in the United States, I can communicate with an American audience in a language which they understand.
Probably it would be better if somebody just shot me with the encouragement of those who are hostile to me. Even if they allow me to go there, and then they kill me. They shoot me because I have no protection.
That's happened to somebody else who went there.
Yes, because he violated an agreement of ours that he would not come for some time.
My own husband had said when he was interviewed in Boston that anybody who comes after Marcos, after 6 months, will start smelling like you know what. And I felt, oh, here I am, you know, so, and I am just so grateful. 19 months have gone by, and I think I'm not smelling like that.
I'm hearing the ideal performance of the score I have been buried with night and day, to the point where I hope it has become my own. That is, that I've written it myself. And I'm also hearing what is actually coming out, and I'm making this constant comparison between the ideal and what I'm hearing. And when there is no difference, I'm in heaven.
When Peter Sellers staged Mozart's Marriage of Figaro this summer at the PepsiCo Summer Fair Festival, the music may have been familiar, but that's about all.
To me, it makes no difference whether people love the show or hate it. They'll never forget it. That's all I care about. What's so hilarious is that Americans want everything new. You know, a new blender, you know, a new toaster, you know, a new oven, self-cleaning oven, until it comes to culture, where suddenly the same old thing is the only thing that's allowed.
I haven't achieved anything what I wanted to achieve before I fight. I haven't achieved nothing. Nothing at all.
What more do you want to achieve in fighting?
I didn't fight the perfect fight yet. And if it's in a losing battle or a winning battle, I just want to fight the perfect fight.
If Michael wants to stop fighting after this fight or after the 5th fight from now, I want him to be able to do so. I don't want him to have to fight that 50th fight because of financial reasons. That is absurd.
Al, we're just thinking that this is a lovely place to live and to work,
yes,
but not much of a future for a television weatherman here in Hawaii.
I mean, it's trouble in paradise. You know, who needs a weather guy? Back in the 1920s, Hollywood got movie makers to come on out here with the promise of perpetual good weather. But what was a producer to do when he needed a rainstorm? Well, he could do what the folks here at the Universal Studios tour have done. Their special effects people have taken and put in sprinklers up into the trees. And that creates a rainstorm good enough to fool just about anybody. But how do you turn a quiet village street into a raging river? The answer? Take about 10,000 gallons of water, let the gates open, and all of a sudden you've got a flash flood. This was the set that was used in the movie Earthquake back in 1974.
He is outside and you can see it is cold.
That's it from here on top of the moon, where I only weigh 50 pounds. I love it here.
And about 15 minutes before 6, you'd go downstairs and rip it off the wire and then paste up these little symbols on the map, and then you just do the weather. And any goofball can do it, like I need to tell you.
Yeah. So remember, a wise man once said, God only made a few perfect heads. The rest he covered with hair.
As we lay out our Sunday buffet of stories for you, we are going to include...
Oh, I hate to get up in the morning. Oh, how I'd love to remain in bed.
Singer or writer, Irving Berlin is the stuff of which legends are made.
Maya Plesetskaya says she never thinks about retiring. She lives for today. And today, even at 62 years of age, she is still queen of center stage.
I don't want to be treated like a kid. I don't, it's just something that I don't want. And I want to be treated like they know that they're dealing with a person who has a head on their shoulders.
Tiffany's legal problems may have forced her to assume the responsibilities of an adult, but her phenomenal success has made her a teen queen. And at 16, she is already the success she always dreamed of being. East Germany's Katharina Witt reigns supreme in ladies figure skating. She was the 1984 Olympic gold medalist and holds the world championship title. She's won the European championships the last 6 years in a row. Her admirers call her the goddess, Queen of the East.
Triple toe, what a way to start.
In the West, there is one gifted young woman who stands the best chance to dethrone Katharina. Strong, powerful, and only 20, America's Debbie Thomas handed Witt her only loss in the last 4 years at the World Championships in 1986. When they meet in Calgary, theirs will be the most anticipated confrontation of all.
As you could tell, Marshall, Missouri is not the center of the cultural universe. It's a small town in the middle of Middle America, almost halfway between the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals. But if you're not into baseball, it's okay. There's always the Marshall Philharmonic Orchestra. Truth is, there probably would be no Marshall Philharmonic if it weren't for Harold Lickie.
Well, as lovely as the music is, it cannot be heard by the millions of Americans who are deaf. Professor Panara has been deaf since the age of 10. He communicates with the spoken word and the signs of the deaf.
Many things in life that's very frustrating to the deaf. You go to a restaurant, you read the menu, you think you have good enough speech, but maybe that day your speech was not working too fine, not finely tuned. You say, I want bacon and eggs. Waits first, writes it down, goes. He comes back with what? Pancakes. Sounds the same, bacon and eggs, pancakes. Many, many times like that. Frustrating.
The soldier wanted to stop the riot, so he forced a passing motorist to help. The soldier.
We had no other choice, and I felt sorry for him.
The Palestinians.
So what? This is very common. It happens all the time.
After we showed Ran and Fouad the pictures, we asked them if they'd like to meet. They both hesitated, said, yes, why not? And this is what happened. At the meeting place, Sergeant Ran said he'd meet Fouad, but wouldn't shake hands. But 30 yards away, Fouad Yunus refused to meet Ran because he was in uniform with a gun.
I know.
The meeting failed because for these two young men, the gulf of history was too wide. It isn't easy to make peace.
On our cover page, nurses.
Excuse us.
It's a hard job. The hours are long and the pressure is intense. Used to be that nurses only had to be loving and motherly. Now they're doing a lot of the high-tech work that high-paid doctors used to do, mending bodies with sophisticated tools, and at the same time, touching and caring.
And I know I committed it. The worst crime.
It was on a cold February night in 1987 that 18-year-old Brian shot his father as he lay sleeping. His violent crime shocked everyone who knew him. He was, after all, just a kid at the local high school. His father, Michael, was a roofer at the local college. These kinds of sensationalistic crimes weren't supposed to happen in quiet middle-class communities like Bellingham, Washington, where the Regniers lived. But one did. What no one understood at the time was that in becoming a murderer, Brian finally freed himself from the role of victim.
I believe I have a voice, words, feelings, observations, perceptions, thoughts that can move the world.
The voice belongs to Roger Marcus. The words and the thoughts are those of his brother Neil. Neil Marcus can barely speak. His body can hardly move. But nonetheless, he is starring in a play, one he has written about his own life.
Because I'm determined to make a change in the world.
Because I'm determined to make a change in the world.
Yeah, put around, say you're right.
I don't think I've ever wrapped up. There's a handful up there already covered.
Fine, whatever you want to do.
The cave itself is probably several million years old.
This is incredible.
Okay, turn these on for a second.
It's kind of like one of the last wild and scenic rivers, only this happens to be a wild and scenic cave.
Well, that wraps it up for us today. We hope you have a great Sunday and a great week. We hope to see you next Sunday, same time, same place. Bye-bye.
Wake up to the world on Sunday Today, television's weekly news magazine. Garrick Utley and Maria Shriver with the newsmakers behind the headlines. The personalities who shape your world.
We have nothing against the Arabs.
And the issues that affect your life. They go one-on-one with presidents and kings, agitators and dictators. Go where it's happening.
In Jerusalem.
Alberta, Canada.
From Moscow.
On Sunday Today. Wake up to the world with Sunday Today, television's weekly news magazine. Garrick Utley and Maria Shriver with the newsmakers behind the headlines and the personalities who touch our lives. Profiles, lifestyles, and much more on Sunday Today. Sunday Today, television's weekly news magazine. Garrick Utley and Maria Shriver with the people who shape our world every Sunday morning on Sunday Today.